I think Sammi's bullying Deena here because she knows Deena's social standing in the house is very low on the totem pole. So she feels comfortable being a see you next Tuesday. Hi, I'm Ray Arcade. Welcome to my channel. At the Miami Jersey Shore house, drama had unfolded like never before. Angelina came and went. Ronnie cheated on Sammi, and his devious ways were exposed in an anonymous note written by Jenny and Snooki. When the truth came out, Sammi directed her anger at the girls and stayed with Ronnie. Mike was becoming more and more erratic and fighting with everyone in the house. What will happen on Jersey Shore Season 3 when they go back to the shore? Let's find out as you take my hand on this Jersey Shore retrospective. Today, we are covering Season 3, Episode 1, called Back to the Shore, and it premiered on January 6, 2011. I need to give some added context to what was going on behind the scenes of Jersey Shore that influenced Season 3. Technically, the Season 3, when the cast returned to Seaside Heights, was called 2B. I will be referring to Season 2B as Season 3 from here on out. It's just easier. Filming in Miami had ended in May of 2010. Season 3 began filming July 25th of 2010. And then Season 2 began premiering on air on July 29th, 2010, just 4 days after they began to film Season 3. Because of this, production decided to break the no TV rule and once a week sit the cast down in front of the television so they could watch Season 2 every week as it aired in real time. So essentially, Sam was thus finding out what Ron did behind her back in real time. As we dive into Season 3, keep this in mind, because it may seem like Sammi had forgiven Ron, but was still holding on to things that happened to Miami. That's not what's happening. Sammi is just finding out what happened in Miami. So she's pissed and upset. Obviously, production did this to create drama. They knew it would create drama. So while some fights Sam has with Ronnie seems irrational or out of nowhere, it's not. They're editing around why she's actually fighting with him because they don't want to break the fourth wall. But she's fighting with Ron because she's just finding out he was cheating on her, pretty much. Sam was getting psychologically fucked with by not only Ronnie, but the Jersey Shore production, which I'm sure made her feel like a crazy person. And she was painted as a crazy person. Let's jump into Season 3. We open on Snooki getting ready to head back to the shore. At this point, Angelina is gone and she is not coming back to the OG season. So Snooki is getting ready to go make a pit stop in New Egypt, New Jersey to pick up the new castmate, Deena Cortese.
I miss you. Me and Nicole are really close, and as soon as I met her, it was like, ah. It was like love at first sight. We started calling each other all the time. We hung out. We go to clubs, you know, go guy shopping. So that's why, like, when she called me and she invited me down, I was like, thank God.
I love you. Have a great time.
I love you.
Nice to meet you. So good to meet you.
Girls, knock 'em dead.
It's framed that Snooki and Deena were old friends, but they weren't. They actually had met during auditions for Season 1. Deena said that she had had a family emergency and had to bail, so Angelina was cast to replace Deena in Season 1. Some people don't believe Deena when she is saying she had originally been cast because Deena seems to have some insecurities about her position on the show because she isn't technically an OG castmate, but Sally Ann Salsano, the big Jersey Shore producer, said that it is true that Deena was cast for Season 1 and had to bail. I'm under the impression that Snooki and Deena were more like party friends, social, but not best friends. So Snooki picks up Deena and they head off to the Jersey Shore. Next, we are with Jenny in her Long Island home with her boyfriend, Tom, and the dynamic here between them is odd.
Tom? Yeah. You help me with my bags. Oh, don't break the new thing we just bought.
I bought?
Me and Tom definitely need a break from each other. I'll call you when I get there tonight. Shut up! We've been getting into like some serious fights lately. I have been really excited to go to Jersey. Love you. Away from my Long Island problems.
According to Jenny, The day that she was leaving, I assume this is before the cameras showed up, Tom had found a revealing outfit in her luggage and was pissed because Tom had become more and more and more controlling. He also was her manager, so he'd become more and more entrenched in her life. He did not like this outfit, so as she was getting ready to bring her luggage downstairs, he threw the luggage. She went with it. So she had been tossed down the stairs by Tom. And then the camera crew shows up, and it seems like the energy is putting on a show for the camera. You can tell there's some sort of underlying conflict going on. They're masking. Jenny is like this with her personal life when it comes to being on the show. I haven't watched all of Jersey Shore Family Vacation. I intend to and do standalone videos for each season. But anyway, I do remember watching a couple episodes when she was going through her divorce with Roger. It was very mum's the word about what was going on behind the scenes. There is so much more to unpack about Tom and his relationship with Jenny, but I will get into that a few episodes down the road. Ron is picking up Sam, and Sam is all smiles, saying that she's over Miami and she's ready to take things day by day. They arrive to the house first.
What's up in this bitch? No one. Yeah, the first one to arrive in the house. Yeah, we're sleeping up here. Bring stuff up here.
You know, I arrived first, so nobody else was there, so I was able to choose from any room I wanted. And I kind of figured old room upstairs is much nicer than downstairs. There's 3 beds in there. As long as I'm with Ron, anybody else can come stay with us. Like, it's not gonna be awkward.
Ron and Sam pick the room upstairs where there are 3 beds. And I feel like Ron and Sam are so selfish during this because whether they're fighting or they're fucking, nobody wants to room in a bedroom with a couple. Like, either way, it's going to be a nightmare, but they're inconsiderate and rude. Jenny arrives next, and Sam can only muster up the effort to call her whore bag instead of calling her by her name. It's like Jersey Shore, he who must not be named. Like Jenny's Voldemort, but her moniker is whore bag. Avada Kedavra! Ron is acting like a little schoolgirl bitch here too as well, but they're both annoying. So Sam's upstairs kind of primping and waiting for Jenny to come up to get a look at her.
We're upstairs.
I'm pretty sure JWoww's gonna come running up here, knowing that this is like the best room in the house. Hello, I'm here in the room you wanted, and I think she almost herself.
Also, Sam looks really pretty in this confessional. I don't know, it's something with her hair maybe, but she looks really cute here. But she's dumb, standing there waiting for Jenny. I don't know. I don't know why she thinks Jenny would shit herself upon seeing her because Sam looks foolish. She's looked foolish and she will continue to look foolish. Jenny doesn't look foolish. Sammy looks foolish. Vinny shows up next, and Ron and Sam are trying to pitch the idea of Vinny taking the 3rd bed in their bedroom, almost like they're real estate agents, because they know nobody wants to room with them. But Vinny grabs a room for him and Paulie because they love each other, no homo.
2 bros chilling in the hot tub, 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
On the car ride in, Deena says,
Remember the bottle that I told you I was gonna pop open when we get there? You opened it already. I did? You're such a Before I left my house, I definitely opened the bottle and took like 3 shots. So would I if I wasn't driving. I'm nervous, I'm excited, and I just can't wait to like blow the speakers off this house. But don't tell anybody I'm drunk. I'm just gonna walk in like I'm a good time.
I do feel bad for Deena because she must feel like she's not on equal footing with the rest of the roommates. It would be like waking up suddenly and you're living with a bunch of celebrities. I know that the Jersey Shore cast aren't talented or have any sort of craft to be considered a celebrity, but they are. They were super famous at this point, and they still are. So it would be surreal to wake up and be rooming with the Jersey Shore cast. And I know Deena has talked about her anxiety a lot, so it appears she is just getting loaded to deal with the situation she's going into. She meets the rest of the crew, and Ron and Sam have nothing nice to say, of course.
Hello! I'm your new roommate.
Snooki walks through the door with this gremlin look-alike, and she says that she's the new roommate.
Hi, I'm Deena. Nice to meet you.
What's her name? Diana, Deena. She looks exactly like Snooki. Like 4 feet tall, short little like Meatball, exactly like Snooki.
I truly think Ron and Sam are just pieces of shit. Deena is so nice to them off the bat. And listen, I understand some people, upon meeting new people, can be a little hesitant, standoffish, but there's a difference between being withdrawn and being nasty. And Ron and Sam are being nasty. I do understand where Sam is coming from.
I'm in this house with now 3 girls, and apparently Deena knows Snooki from home. So they're BFF, and now it's 3 against 1. Snooki's Jenny's bitch. The girl's probably gonna be Snooki's bitch. It's me against this whole house. You get that?
However, it is clear to me that Deena is considerate enough to understand the situation somewhat that she's going into and is trying her best to be friends with Sam, or at least be cordial with her.
So where do you live?
Jersey.
Where? I live in Jersey also.
Central.
Bitch, I'm here. I know every part of Jersey. Just tell me where the you're from.
Like what part? How's it?
I feel like if Sammy had just been a little nicer to Deena, it would have bridged a gap between her and Snooki. Also, Mike finds out he's going to be rooming with Ron and Sam. He's not happy. He is not happy. Deena is warming up to the cast, and they're all being very amicable to her. She's getting along with mostly everybody. And Sam is sitting at the table during these interactions, and she's silently seething. I think she was hoping the cast would hate Deena off the bat to make her feel better about herself and her situation in the house. It's toxic. That's toxic. In my opinion, Sam seems like the type of person at this time in her life where she'd rather see other people be torn down than build herself up. You know what I mean? I think we've all known people like that who are miserable and they want other people to be miserable because it's easier to wallow in the shit than to work on yourself and make yourself feel better. I think what's really driving home Sam's pissed off attitude is that during this scene, if you pay very close attention, Ron is being social. He's laughing. He raises his cup to Deena's cheers. And for whatever Ron is, you can tell he is social. He can be likable. He wants to participate in the group.
Here's to a good summer and a blast.
Yes. Cheers.
Yeah, no, not gonna cheer to you, Deena. No.
All right.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to the family.
Nice to meet you.
We are like a family.
Ron and Sam end up going into what I'm calling their Tower of Torment alone, while everyone else is outside playing Flip Cup. Vinny, Deena, and Snooki all get into the hot tub. Vinny and Deena are flirting with each other. You can tell at this point Snooki and Deena are both pretty loaded, and then Snooki drops an A-bomb.
Let's have fun.
Do something fun.
I love it how funny it is that you have sex with my best friend.
Who?
Ryder. Like 2 weeks ago, Vinny hooked up with my best friend Ryder. Like legit had sex to where I walked in and saw them. That's not okay.
This is where I can see an argument for Ryder being a terrible friend to Snooki. I don't know how aware Deena was about Snooki's feelings towards Vinny, but there's no way Ryder did not know that Snooki was down bad for Vinny. So if I had a friend who hooked up with a guy that they knew I was crushing on, I think it would be over between us. But Snooki seems more upset with Vinny than she does with Ryder, and her and Ryder continue to be friends after that, so I don't know. Snooki tries to hook up with Vinny in the hot tub after Deena made a swift exit because it was getting cringy and uncomfortable. Vinny shuts her down and tells her,
I can't hook up with you. I want to, but I can't. Like, if I hook up with you, then I hook up with another girl tomorrow. I don't want to upset you, all right?
I think Vinny is doing the right thing here. Do you? I don't know. I think it's really hard for me to figure out how Vinny ever felt about Snooki. I do think he cares about her, but he's a young guy. He knows he wants to hook up with girls, and he knows that Snooki wants more than just hooking up. So shutting her down immediately was probably the best move. This does upset Nicole because who likes being rejected? Speaking of being rejected, Deena's trying to put some moves on Mike by showing him her party hat and how it looks in her bikini. And she's doing the most awkward seduction ritual I have ever seen that ends in the most embarrassing, unsexy faux pas I have ever seen.
And just have a good time.
Oh, wow. Looks like a good time.
She's totally getting butt naked.
Yeah.
No, you can't do like. No, you can't do without my bikini.
Mike is stunned. I love his face here. He is full of joy. He is like a kid in a candy shop. It is so funny. But Mike has to pull the eject button because he does not want to dive into Deena. He ends up going upstairs to hide from Deena. She goes up there and she's being annoying and blah, blah, blah. And she's super drunk, so whatever. But Sammi starts mean girl laughing at Deena.
Mike, yeah, right. Wake the up.
What do you mean wake up?
Wake up.
For what?
We're trying for good time.
You're annoying.
She's laughing at me.
No, she's not.
I definitely am.
I think Sammy's bullying Deena here because she knows Deena's social standing in the house is very low on the totem pole. So she feels comfortable being a see you next Tuesday. That's some sign language for you. See you next Tuesday, which Deena calls her as she is leaving the room. Deena goes downstairs. She's drunk and being annoying and talking a bunch of shit. Whatever. Mike is enjoying himself greatly during this, by the way. But Deena makes the critical error of saying, go cuddle with your boyfriend. So Ronnie's upstairs, jumps up immediately because how dare he be mentioned? He doesn't get upset or anything when Deena's talking a bunch of shit about Sam, but go cuddle with your boyfriend is too far. So Ron hops up and he goes, oh, run downstairs, and Sammi scampers after him like a little dog.
This bitch. This bitch. Good. Go cuddle with your boyfriend. Don't talk to
Listen.
me. I don't care what you're up to. I don't care if you're cuddling.
Listen. Whoa. Don't get me involved, all right, Deena? I'm not done talking. I'm not done talking, okay? When I'm done, you can talk. That's the way it works.
Go ahead.
All right?
Sam's smiling because she's so happy her little pocket Pitbull is going to go attack Deena, who's basically the size of a chihuahua. And the way Ron is screaming at her is insane. Deena looks very scared, and I don't blame her. He's very scary. He is a loose cannon. He's also pulling that weird boomer thing where he's like, this is my house and respect is earned in my house. Herder. He reminds me of like a stepdad who just moved in, who's trying to like gain authority over a kid who's like, you're not my real dad. So all the girls start fighting after that. And Ron's trying to disengage at this point, and Sam's trying to bring him back in. She's like, Snooki's fake. You said it, right? Isn't Snooki fake? Isn't she fake? And he's like, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, whatever. I'm going to edit in some fighting here, but the fight is so long. And unfortunately, there's so many good quotes and gold in this fight. I can't include it all, or I will get a claim. So I will do my best.
Hello. Get real. I'm so laughing at you. You. Even though we're tiny bitches, I don't give a. I will attack you like a squirrel monkey. Sam, you are such a bitch. I don't understand how you even have friends.
Do you think she's fake? I'm asking you.
Yeah,
Okay, Ronnie, their mom calls me every single week saying, why the is my son with this poor ass bitch?
You need to relax, because you're a loser from Poughkeepsie, and you know it. And you know it.
Snooki makes up a story about how she talked to Ron's mom on the phone and how she said how much she hates Sammi, which is a lie, but there is dead silence after she says it. Ron does eventually call her a loser from Poughkeepsie. Then Sam and Jenny get into it again.
Bitch! You bitch! Step out of it! Put your hands on me, Kenny.
Perfect.
Do you think Sammy's defensiveness is justified? And she's kind of in a tough spot. If you were in her situation, would you try to make peace? Or, even if you might be wrong, do you think you'd stand up for yourself? We are left with so many questions. Will Sammi and the girls keep fighting? Will Ron and Sammi unite and be in love? Them against the rest of the house? Will Mike and the situation of him being in the same bedroom as Ron and Sam blow up? Now is the time where I read one of your comments. In a segment that I am changing from Ray's comment corner to Ray replies to replies. Good one. This comment is from Blissfully Here. And they said, I think Ron always called out Mike because they're too similar. That's how I feel about Sammi and Jenny. They didn't get along this season because it's like looking in a mirror. And I have to say, I think that a lot of the guys had big egos, but the two biggest egos were definitely Mike and Ronnie. They're full of themselves. I think that Mike blew up and maybe Ronnie was a little bit jealous of that because Ronnie wants to be seen as like a funny, likable, charming guy. And Mike, who is kind of stupid and probably not as funny and likable and charming as Ronnie perceives himself to be, got super famous. Maybe Ronnie felt like Mike didn't deserve the fame and he did instead. And then for Sammi and Jenny, oh man, they both are just such pick-me's sometimes. And I think they are like, well, I'm hot and she's attractive, so we certainly cannot get along. It's a zero-sum game, right? If a hot girl gets a guy, then you do not get that guy. Not cool in their minds. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. I'm Ray Arcade. Until next time, stay crazy, stay wild.